ready.
Here.
We are here. Jimmy J was here an hour early. Over an hour early. Saying we need a Brad Stevens presser to deny anything. I'll put it this way. If you need a Brad Stevens presser to deny every Stephen A. Smith rant on live television, I think you'd have a lot of Brad Stevens pressure.
Brad Stevens would be pretty busy. It's a good point.
Yeah.
Brad Stevens would really probably land like a water sponsorship, like with Poland Springs or something, because he'd always be having to make sure his throat isn't dry with the amount of talking he would be doing.
I am the biggest. If you can trade JB for KD straight up, you have to consider a guy in the world. But let's not act like there are any actual rumors out there. This was Stephen A. Smith saying something on TV. There's no foundation to the KD Celtics rumors, right? It's just completely unfounded nothingness, the KD rumors. And now it's going to spiral into everything. Internet need to chill. Exactly, Matthew. Exactly. Couldn't agree with you more. Lewis. Fist bumps as well. Thank you, Jimmy J. Yeah, I don't think JB will go anywhere. As much as I hate to say it, the most realistic trade at the deadline looks to be potentially a Grant Williams trade. If the Celtics were going to move somebody, it's looking like it could potentially.
But that doesn't
be
make
Grant
sense.
Williams. It doesn't, but unless you get into the realm of okay, maybe he's going to ask for more than the Celtics want to pay him. His you see something from Kevin O'Connor saying, his defense has been slipping and teams are calling about him. I am of the mindset that lots of fist bumps today. Appreciate y'all.
I'm getting tired.
I am of the belief that the only way the Celtics should/would trade Grant Williams is if you can get a player similar to the Derek White trade last year, as in trade Grant Williams's quote unquote expiring contract for somebody on a long-term deal. You can't trade Grant Williams for somebody on a one-term deal. You can't trade him for Pirtle, who's just going to leave as well. You can't trade him for a one-year deal. The only thing I landed on, which I don't think is a realistic thing either, is if you could put Grant in a OG Anunoby trade and the Raptors were willing to make something happen there, that's the only thing I could potentially buy. But Phoenix is saying here, I'm a little bit sad, but coming to the realization OG is probably going to Brooklyn. I don't see that happening.
I don't know. If it was going to happen, it would have happened today.
Yeah, and it's that.
And it didn't.
The report of a 3-team deal is dead now because the trade went through.
Yep.
Excuse me, the league office. But yeah, I just don't think you trade Grant unless you can get a longer term deal. Jack can bring up Vanderbilt. That is definitely a team out there the Celtics could go for.
Is that how you spell his name?
No, it's not, but I was just going to
I like that, though. I like it being spelled like that. It makes him seem like he's real swole.
Yeah. I just think keep him until the end of the year and go from there. Team's going to want too much from us. Is this... What are we talking about here? I'm confused. Grant Williams, maybe? But, excuse me, not sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's see. I don't understand the context there. Sorry, Matthew. Masai will hold to the end of the deadline, says Phoenix. Grant. Okay, you're saying Grant, keep him until the end of the year and go from there. Well, the issue with that is if you keep him until the end of the year, you enter free agency, right? You can't trade him at the end of the season. If the Celtics don't trade him by now, they'll have to just deal with restricted free agency. So that's a thing.
Yeah, which isn't fun.
Brian's saying Olynyk reunion. This is something you've seen a lot of smoke around. I don't think they're going to trade. Excuse me. What's his name? Gallinari. I mean, as much as I dislike it, if you were to tell me you trade the package of Grant, Pritchard, Jackson, that salary to get an Olynyk and Vanderbilt along with first round pick, that's something I wouldn't hate. But I'm still firmly of the belief that I don't think they're going to trade anybody, right? I don't think they'll make a move. And the only thing that's swaying me away from that a little is Wicks telling Brad, go get something, right? In his own way, saying you have full whatever to do everything. And you see all the smoke around stuff like that, so it confuses me a little. But I don't
tell you what, trades will be here Thursday.
Yeah, we will be here
in the afternoon live.
Yes,
little tease for you.
Okay, Sam. I want you to guess the starting lineup. Jaylen Brown is out. Marcus Smart is out. Luke Cornett is out. Gallinari's out, and that's it, I believe. It's those four.
Okay, so it's Derek White, Tatum.
Yep.
Al, Rob, Grant.
Nope.
Not Grant.
Not Grant. I need you to guess this because it's a clue. Starting lineup we have not seen this year. It's a new starting lineup.
Is it Hauser?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Sam Hauser is starting. Interesting. Very weird. I'm not sure I love it. I'd rather kind of like I'd rather see Pritchard if anything, right? Because I understand they probably want to keep Brogdon in the bench role, but like I don't know. It feels like you're running into a dangerous game having Hauser at the 2, especially on defense.
Well, sometimes you play against the fellas and you tip your cap, and like they did on Friday, you don't try as hard as maybe you should. So setting the tone right in Detroit today, I'd say. Maybe they went and crushed some Little Caesars before the game too. Just getting completely ready to lay an egg. I sure hope they don't. I hope they are motivated today. And I'm very glad you did not ask me to name the Pistons starting lineup. That's what I thought you were going to do.
Lewis saying, I'll just praise Joe so no one gets mad at me. I don't really know what you want me to say to that, Lewis.
What did you think of Friday, Jack? We haven't really had a chance to talk.
The Suns game?
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't recorded. I don't know. It was kind of like at the start, my dad calling the Pistons game a trap game, which it absolutely is.
It is.
The Suns game was kind of weird to me because like it felt like for the first half, like when they were losing, like, after the first quarter, Suns went on a run, they brought it back. They were getting like good shots. I thought so for the first quarter at least, and into the second, I thought they were getting good shots. And then they just weren't falling, right? Like they got off to an okay start, but throughout the game, they got okay shots, and then it was just like nothing was happening for them, right? Like I thought the defense was really good. I thought they played really well on defense. Obviously, the Suns didn't have Cam Johnson, Devin Booker, so you're going to have a little bit of an easier time on that end. But I thought they performed very well on the defensive end. And at the end of the game there in the fourth quarter, it was just like they could not capitalize on defensive stops, right? Like, and I'm not saying the offense was good, right? Because it was obviously not good, but like, even when they were getting open shots, it just felt like nothing was going their way. And that turned into a little too much isolation. I thought Jayson Tatum's shot profile was terrible. He didn't get inside nearly enough. And he took 15 shots and 10 were threes.
A lot of threes.
I like threes as much as the next guy, but like, God, that was awful.
I certainly don't.
But like, then even at the end there, they were down by, I remember it vividly because I wrote about it. They were down by 6 with 2 minutes left. Al Horford gets a wide open 3.
It was a good shot
to cut the league in half. Yeah, and they just couldn't make it. So It was just like the offense was terrible. They let the Suns out hustle them on offense at the very least.
Well, it shouldn't even have got to that
point.
The
defense was good.
With the Horford shot. They came out flat in the fourth quarter. Really worked hard throughout the third to get back into the game and the second because they were down 20 at one point. Closed the half pretty well. I believe Tatum got a tech after an offensive foul, and it was like a 4-point swing because they came down, made the free throw and a 3, and they went into the half down 13. Then they battled back that whole third quarter, cut it to just 1 going into the fourth, and then twiddled their thumbs for the first 4 minutes of the quarter and never
8-0
recovered.
Run. Suns went on an 8-0 run to start the
It's
quarter.
absolutely brutal. It's annoying. You shouldn't lose to that Suns team. It's Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton and then the fellas. They literally had some guy that was playing for the Bills playing for them. Like, these are not monster. Devin Booker was not playing.
Was that an Ish Wainwright joke?
Yeah. Did they tell you he played football, Jack, during the broadcast? Did they tell you enough times? It is funny, though.
I was at the game, so I didn't get the joke.
Oh, okay. They told you enough times. But really, we texted during the game, and I just said, this feels like one where they're just not going to get over the hump, and you agreed. Yeah, and they got it to 1 and never tied it. Never tied it.
Yeah, it was, I don't know. It was just what, if this was like the game, like say they had won 3 games before this, right? And they were pretty consistent all year. Like this would be one of those games where I'd just be like, they just didn't have it tonight. It sucks. Yep. You just go to the next one. But since it came off the back of, obviously that Nets win was huge, but like before that, you saw the Lakers game was rough. And then 3 losses before that. Like that's where you start to say like, okay, this is a pattern and it's concerning. But it's, I don't want to dive into the, also we mocked Lewis on the stream the other day for not thanking you. So he is thanking you for the birthday wishes a few days ago. But yeah, like my dad,
I did like a happy birthday song, and he was like thanking everybody in the chat, and I was like, "What the hell, man?"
He told us he was out, so I don't think he was listening. But like my dad and Jimmy J are shooting, it was just an ugly game. And in the context of like the recent games the Celtics have been playing, it's like compounding the issues. But like in a vacuum, I think it was just one of those nights where the offense was bad, right? And they just couldn't find anything. Jayson Tatum got a ton of good looks, and he just wasn't making them. Jaylen Brown played well. I'd have to look back to the box score because this was, I mean, the 2-day, 3-day breaks are killing me now. I'm just not as fresh in my mind as they should be. But
you see, Jack and I are becoming, especially me now, connoisseurs of the entire NBA. Jack was already there. We're just filling our brains with all kind of stuff that doesn't matter to everybody else except us.
Exactly.
So it's getting tough.
Exactly. A lot of stuff going on. No one took it to the hoop. Dummies. Yeah, that was brutal.
Agree.
D White actually good. D White's been good. Jimmy J. We've been telling you.
Pretty good.
We've been telling you he's good.
He just kind of like shows up and does his job. He really doesn't screw around. Doesn't turn the ball over a whole lot. Plays good defense.
The thing about that is I think shows up and does his job is the perfect way to say it because like his job changes based on who's available. He's going to look a lot better. And like Jimmy J saying, he's been awesome last 5. It's because you notice him more because he's thrust into a larger role with Marcus Smart out. That doesn't mean he's any.
Sorry, Jimmy J. You're gonna hate that they miss him.
They do Marcus Smart a lot, but D White's goodness, which is an award, doesn't change just when Smart's in the lineup. He just doesn't have enough chances to show it off. So he's just as good. He's just not a larger role. What happens when Smart returns?
Better. They start
the team
winning
is better.
Again.
He goes back into starting lineup, and the offense is a lot better. That's what I'm saying. Matthew saying, I love Brogdon and White. Their whole role with the Celtics. Exactly. The word thrust is funny, says Lewis. I agree with you. D White, our rim protector. He really is. He's leads the team in block shots. I think I've been a big redundant. They're not redundant. You see why they're not redundant because the offense
they are, but they're not
Smart. I don't think they are at all.
I think redundant in a good way. Redundant, not a bad thing in this situation. They're all 3 guards are skilled similarly, but they're all also great at different things, which is why it works.
My thing is, I think a big reason why you're seeing the offense struggle is because D White's a good playmaker. Malcolm Brogdon's a good playmaker. I think Smart is a better playmaker than both of them, A. And B, he has a much better chemistry with Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum. And I think that's what you're really missing. And I think when he comes back to the lineup, you'll see that impact. You'll see the offense start flowing. You'll see the way, you'll see the way the offense can get out quicker in transition. He can send out those passes. You know, you can just flick the ball to Tatum. Tatum cuts and Smart's know where he's there. And I think it's crucial. Jimmy J, you say Brogdon and I don't know if you mean White or Smart, but Brogdon and one of them is all you need. They proved this wrong in the finals last year. They needed an extra guard. They needed extra playmaking in the finals. They needed extra shot creation. That's why they got Malcolm Brogdon. So the solution to the Celtic struggles now isn't, okay, just get rid of one of them. Like that's such a backwards, I think, way of thinking.
You know what they really needed is to just not shoot a bunch of threes at the end of game 4 and they win.
Sure. Sure. I agree. Hello, Ben. Fist bumps in the chat. No, I don't think you need 2 out of 3 because they had 2 out of 3 in the finals last year and they still needed extra playmaking. And that's why they brought in the third one. Brogdon, I agree with you. Brogdon is the difference.
He's been pretty good lately.
Exactly. But he's not the difference as in replace one. He's the difference as in add him onto the end.
Yep.
Is my thing. For other position, I don't think you do that. I think you trade your 4th guard, if anything, Pritchard, for another position, right? I think I've been really intrigued by the Naz Reid thing. Lewis knows I love Luke Cornett as much as the next guy, but having Naz Reid as a more versatile big man, I think would help for sure. I think looking at, a Will Barton in the buyout market would be huge. I think, I mean, if the Raptors were interested, I don't know what the best package would be, but packaging like Grant Williams, Peyton Pritchard, just just dangle in front of the OG Anunoby trade would be interesting.
Yeah, if you really don't think Grant is going to be your best option, meaning you're really going to have to pay a lot of money for him, maybe you do that. But besides that, it doesn't make a ton of sense. Like when they're on your team, you're going to be asking them to just about do the same thing, So if you trust Grant and that's your guy, then roll with him and pay him whatever he somewhat deserves. Aside from that, I don't know. Like, I don't really care for any trades. I saw that. I mean, you probably saw it too. The Bleacher Report thing talking about the Plumlee potential buyout. Now, listen, I'm telling you right now, I've said it many a time. I'm not convinced I've ever seen Plumlee do anything good, but he is having a career year by his standards. He's like averaging career highs in points and rebounds and assists and field goal percentage. He's having like a good statistical year. But every time I watch him play, the guy's like super clumsy. Obviously, the left-hand jump shot's really weird. It's been working for him. It is funny if you go on Basketball Reference and you go to his page, you know, they have shoots, like what hand they shoot with, and it's crossed out. It's crossed out right and typed in left.
That's amazing. Yeah,
he does get a ton of rebounds, almost 10 a game.
He's also a pretty underrated playmaker. Like, he's a good playmaker for the big man position. So there are pluses to Plumlee's game, but I don't know. Can Furk and Korkmaz be better than Hauser? Now we're talking crazy. Let's not do this. Let's not get into the Furk and Korkmaz over Hauser. A, he makes $3 million more. B, he's under contract for the same amount of time for $5 million a season. And C, no, he's not a better shooter than Sam Hauser. Like,
and he doesn't look like Gordon Hayward.
Yeah, that's also mine. It's like Korkmaz is shooting 34% from three this season. I don't think so. Ben in the chat. We need a competent wing so badly. Vando or PJ Washington, I know they're technically big, but can function well as wing defenders. I don't think the words PJ Washington and defender have ever been in the same sentence, unless you throw is not good in the middle of the two, phrases there. Vando, I'd love Jared Vanderbilt. You see something saying they have offers of 2 second-round picks on the table from Western Conference guys, and
throw them all in. Throw in all the second
I agree
rounds.
with you, but if I'm the Jazz, I would rather take the Lakers second rounders over the Celtics or another middling team in the West.
Well, you got to think it's Danny, and Danny's one of the fellas. I suppose Brad's saying, "All right, Danny, you can throw our name out there for Kelly Olynyk and bump up the price if you want. Just remember when we're throwing you those second-round picks."
Yeah, but like we're talking,
LeBron and the boys aren't going to be very good.
We're talking a 20 pick difference. Even Danny's not going to do that.
I don't know. It's the second round, man. Like, who really cares? Those
don't
guys.
Do that.
That's the answer.
Yeah, don't do that.
But
Andrew in the chat. Wonder if the Knicks get OG. What will the Knicks ship out? 3 unprotected first. I honestly think the Knicks could probably assemble one of the better packages for OG. Obviously, you've heard the reports of 3 first rounders. I assume the Knicks were offering, really bad first rounders because they have a few like heavily protected ones that aren't really first round picks. But if I'm the Knicks, giving like 2 legitimate first rounders, 1 fake first rounder, and then like fake first rounder isn't like Milwaukee's protected.
No, I know what you mean, but like I just think of like fake. I love when people say like some game is fake. Like I'm trying to think. Who scored like a ton of points against Celtics that shouldn't have. I'm like the king of this. I should know. I don't remember.
Anyways,
like when Paolo hits a bunch of threes against the Celtics, people say it's fake. That's why I laughed.
But like 2 firsts, 1 like heavily protected first, plus like Derrick Rose to match salary, and then like an Obi Toppin or like a young player for the Raptors to actually like. I think that could be something there. LOL, I'm willing to believe PJ's lack of defense is a product of his environment. I don't know, man. Like they've had successful defenders in Charlotte and like Cody Martin, and that's it. So I don't know if it's necessarily that, but we have
Karis
LeVert or something
for reference for me.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if they can afford that. What's the reference here?
When I'm saying, please tell me whose game was fake against the Celtics. Perfect.
Yes. I'll take Fournier if the Knicks pay. I don't think that's how trades work, but I appreciate
it's not the NFL.
Not exactly how that works. I don't know. It's tough. It's definitely tough to see what's up out there in the trade market. I'm excited to see what happens. I think you're going to see a couple more big moves. Also, Isaiah Stewart starting for the Pistons.
Isaiah Stewart, who has been linked to the Celtics? Did I see that right? I know Nerlens Noel has.
I don't think Isaiah Stewart was.
I don't know why. I swear I saw that on Twitter. I probably did, but I'm an idiot. But I know Nerlens Noel has because I read the article, and the Celtics have been one of the teams that have reached out on him. Another good old local lad. Who doesn't love that?
That could be a TPE edition too, so that wouldn't have to be
good. Yeah, we like that.
However, and Lewis is going to hate me, I don't think Nerlens Noel is that big of an upgrade over Luke Cornett. I really don't think it's worth
Probably
it.
Isn't.
It's really not worth it. Like, everyone's talking about Nerlens Noel, and they're thinking of, the staunch defender from 3 years ago.
Well, like, he doesn't even have his super cool flat top anymore.
He averages 2 and 3. Like Cornett averages better stats than Nerlens.
Well, he's not playing a whole lot. That I know.
Yeah, but like, because he's not good. There's a reason he's not playing a lot.
Yeah, if you're not playing on the Pistons, I don't know what to tell you.
He's playing the exact same amount of minutes as Luke Cornett and putting up.
Cornett's been good. He does just about everything you could ask.
Here's something for you. He's playing 11 minutes a night and shooting 43% from the field as a big man. So there's something for you.
As a big man that doesn't shoot jumpers.
That's bad. That's horrendous. Not good at all. I'd much rather a Naz Reid. Right, go after Naz Reid. Give up a couple second-round picks, right? Or Jared Vanderbilt. Give up Peyton Pritchard in a second, if that's what the Jazz want to do. I think those should be some options. I think Vanderbilt and Naz Reid are probably 2 year better depth pieces out there if you give up a second and or Pritchard. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think the Celtics will do anything big.
Listen,
as I say, I don't think the Celtics will do anything big. Brad might secretly be planning something huge. Birkin, what huge thing could Brad possibly be planning? I just don't.
There is nothing to be done.
Yeah.
There's literally nothing. What do you want him to do?
Would you guys give a first for Kuzma include multiple second salary raise? I don't think
the salary works.
It does work, but I don't think the Wizards are selling Kuzma.
No, they're not.
They want to keep their big three. They're delusional
and think he's going to stay, but he doesn't want to stay.
The Blazers are not trading Jeremy Grant. He's not available. That would be a good fit. I agree with you, but they're not trading him right now. They are shopping Josh Hart. If that's a name you're interested in, I would like a Josh Hart. But I don't think the Celtics are trading Gallo.
Josh Hart not shooting that well from deep, from what I remember.
He's not, but he's a defender and a good rebounder and a glue guy, shooting 29% from three. So not
very
not
good.
A good year for him. Yeah, but no. Yeah, I just don't see anything big happening at the deadline. Maybe we'll see something fun, but there's not much room to do stuff. Jack and saying Brad won't move Gallo. I agree with you.
He shouldn't, because then people are going to get mad.
Not even that. I think people think of Gallo as like, okay, he's this year and then it's done. Like, he's on the team next year too, right? Like, so like,
which is
you
true.
Still have him as depth next year. You still have that extra oomph. You have as people were talking about earlier, we need a Hauser replacement. You have it next year. He's right there. So yeah.
The chat's calling for it. They want it. They want it. They want Kyrie. They want us to talk about Kyrie.
I was just going to bring it up. I mean, yeah, I think the Mavs will be solid. The Mavs are not done making moves. I think they'll make some more trades past year. Christian Wood will be on the block. Other players
Streets
as well.
Are saying they're not.
Yeah, stuff will happen, but yeah, I think Kyrie probably elevates that team into the top 4 or top 5 in the West. Like, they'll be up there. But I also think the Nets got a pretty good return for him. I think this, like,
can't complain
Spencer
too
Dinwiddie.
much.
No, Dinwiddie's a solid point guard. DFS is a good, wing defender. Future first, couple seconds. Not bad. I think it's all right. And you hear the Nets are looking at other moves as well. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
I'll tell you what, when I heard the news that he wanted out, that was where I wanted him to end up, because he's not in this conference anymore. You don't have to see him anymore. That's one less player that's in the Eastern Conference. Before
the Celtics don't play Dallas again.
Yeah, they don't play Dallas. Brooklyn doesn't either, which kind of sucks. I was hoping they would.
LA does, though. Twice.
Yeah, well, that's the best part of this, is that LeBron's crying over there.
Very funny.
He went on. Funny. You saw he went on ESPN. I mean, you must have seen it. That he went on. He was like complaining. He's like, "Man, I can't believe like we didn't get Kyrie," or whatever he said. It's like, or he's crying about the team being bad. Like, I don't know how many times I've said it to you, Jack, but I have no sympathy. One, because I don't like the guy, but two, because I mean, he pulls all the strings there. What is he doing? What's he complaining about? You brought in all your boys last year, and the team was a disaster.
Yeah.
You wanted to bring in Westbrook instead of getting Buddy Hield, and who else was going to come over with him? Turner, right? They were going to get both of them.
Yeah. No, just Hield.
No,
because it was
even
Sacramento.
Then, it's still better than what they got.
Because it was from Sacramento at that point.
That's right. And it was just such a better package than Westbrook. It was a great fit. Guy can shoot. LeBron plays great with shooters. It was a no-brainer. Nope, they
It was
bring in
Hield and
Westbrook.
Bagley. It was Hield and
Okay.
Bagley, I remember, yeah.
And he's out there like saying, poor me, tweeting, is it me?
I will
yes,
say,
it is you, dummy.
I will say, and don't interrupt me here. Obviously, I agree with you. I don't feel bad for LeBron. Lakers ownership is also terrible right now, right? Like starting from like even pre-Westbrook, like they gave Caruso away for nothing. They just let dude walk, right? Stupid, cheap, ridiculous. And now like they're unwilling to trade X amount of picks unless they're getting this player. Like, guys.
Well, Shams said they offered those picks, right?
I know, but just for Kyrie. If I'm them, I give up 2 seconds and get back picks get shit from the Jazz, right? Because like if you want to talk about it from a purely basketball perspective, like LeBron is playing at a ridiculously high level right now. Anthony Davis is been great this season. Getting Mike Conley, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt, and/or Kelly Olynyk, like 3 of those players would put them in like the running, considering how jumbled up the West is, for like a decent seed in the West. They can actually do something, right? Like get LeBron in the playoffs. And I know he had that down year against Phoenix, but with the supporting cast like the one he had in 2020, from a purely basketball perspective, like you got to give the team a chance, especially with like the flashes they've shown. So again, I understand what you and agree with you in terms of like LeBron did this to himself, but like at this point where you're at, like hoarding on to those 2029, 27 picks, like, and like on top of compounding all the mistakes they made in the past is like, it's crazy to me.
It's just funny. It's hilarious. And it's a shame that they won the championship the year they did, because if they didn't, this whole thing would be a real disaster. And it would be all his fault.
Yeah. Yeah. What was I was gonna look at something as well. Oh, I don't know what happens here because this is a little weird. Maybe, but I don't know if they'll.
I don't think so.
Well, why? Because Steph's hurt, so the West needs an extra starter. So does Kyrie move into the West starting spot, or does Kyrie?
What happened when Harden got traded?
He was in the conference still.
Oh, he got traded real early in the season, didn't he?
Yeah, he was before All-Star stuff.
This can't be the first time this has happened.
I think it is, genuinely.
Oh, boy.
The first time an All-Star starter was traded after starters were announced, like, I have to imagine that's probably the first time. So I don't know what happens. Like, they're going to have to add an extra All-Star from the West, which probably means Fox or Anthony Edwards. It has to be one of those two, I would assume. But I don't know what they do about the starters.
It's too bad KD's not a captain this year.
Yeah. Giannis and LeBron. Well, LeBron, I wonder if he picks Kyrie first or last. We'll see.
He'd probably pick him first. And he'll be like, look at me. I'm such a great guy.
I don't know if Joel starts. That'd probably be the smart thing, just to throw Joel in the starting lineup because he deserves it.
That'd probably be the fairest.
Yeah. I don't know if they want to have another guard in there. I would assume they do. And it's going to be Fox. Fox will make the All-Star team, but they usually don't make the replacement the starter. Like when KD was out last year, Tatum got bumped into the starting lineup, so we'll have to be a new starter.
Seasons, right?
You glitched out there. I didn't hear what you said.
Yeah, it wasn't important.
Okay. Maybe no KD either. Isn't it Joe's decision? I don't think it's Joe's decision. I think the league decides that.
That'd be kind of fire if Missoula's like, all right, like we're bringing in Jaylen because I want to. I can see Missoula being like, no, we're not doing it because screw Jaylen. I don't want that. Like,
I was gonna say, what if Missoula is just like, actually, we're gonna start Joel Embiid here. We're gonna bring him up. Andrew hoping for a KD trade. KD, OG, Brunson, Randall. This is like back when the Knicks were like Zion, LeBron. We're all getting
the best too.
Getting the fellas.
They were getting everybody, and then they got they got RJ, who's proven to be pretty good for them, which is good. Right. I mean, it's about time they hit on.
Do we have a pick tonight?
No pick. I inquired about it. It's probably a busy day for the man. It's okay.
No picks. Sorry, fellas. Sorry, chat.
People asking for the picks. Yeah. We can open up the sports book. Why not?
I didn't see anybody. I was just waiting for it.
Okay.
We can look at the picks. I mean, you guys always know my picks.
The novice pick.
My picks are always Grant and/or Derek White over 1.5 threes. I assume the line hasn't changed, so we'll do that. Birkin,
Jaylen Pistons plus 9.5. There's your pick.
Jalen's sick. It's just a non-COVID illness, so I assume it's
because
just
they're trading him for KD and they're sitting him.
Exactly. Jimmy J saying OG will make a fringe team good. I think he'll make a good team great. I think those are the teams that should be looking for him. The Grizzlies are up there. The Pelicans, who have slipped a little bit, like they have some talent. So I think that's probably where he lands. Although
where's the best place for him to end up for me? That's what I'm
I think the Kings. You like the Kings. I like the Kings. I think send OG to the Kings. That'd be fire. I think that'd be a real fun trade.
I'll also tell you what, Nets, they're climbing very close to the top of my favorite teams. I was just going to say,
I think the Nets are fun now. I think the Nets are a cool team.
I like KD. Joe Tsai is a savage, even if some people don't think that's true, that he told them don't trade with the Lakers. If it is true, it's fire. 1, screw the Lakers. 2,
he called Kyrie out on Twitter earlier
where
this season.
They want to go via trade. Like, sorry, you're under contract. Send him to Shanghai for all I care.
He called Kyrie out earlier this season on Twitter.
He's fire. He's fire. KD's fire. Sorry if you don't like KD. He's fire. KD likes basketball more than any other person on the planet.
And think of like all the players, like Dinwiddie's cool, right? Like Seth Curry's cool. Dorian Finney-Smith is cool. Claxton's awesome. He's fun. Cam Thomas is hilarious.
Think the Nets may be rat-free. They may have brought in the exterminator, Joe Tsai, and taking care of things.
They even got rid of Markieff Morris in the same trade. Both rats gone. Both rats off the roster.
Why do we not like Markieff Morris?
I thought it was bogus. Remember when he got punked by Jokic and everyone got mad at Jokic? Markieff Morris started that. Let's not act like he didn't go up and push. Yeah. I don't know.
Because the Jokic brothers were fired. They made a Twitter account for a day, tweeted 2 things, and then deleted it.
Very funny. Very funny. Anyways, I think we can. Ben says not snake free. Who's the snake?
KD.
Oh, KD.
Nope,
KD.
don't feel bad. Russ is a rat, so KD can turn his back on him. Don't care about that guy.
Russ is a rat? Why is Russ a rat?
He's just irritating. I've never really liked him. I always thought he was annoying.
I don't really have a problem with Russ. I don't really.
Maybe he's not a rat, but I just don't like him.
Fair enough. All right. I think that about wraps it up. I don't really have anything else to say. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, I don't have anything to contribute.
Also, this is a nay. If Jaylen for KD, maybe you inquire about it. Anything past it, if you're giving up 2 rotation pieces, you can't do it for KD. That's my thing. I don't think you can give up 2 rotation pieces, no matter who they are.
You know what they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Thank you. And yes, I agree. Thank you, Dad, for the kind words. But I think that'll do it for us. We're recording tomorrow, right? And pod coming out on Wednesday will be the new pod. So hopefully we'll get some trades. You'll get some Kyrie thoughts there as well, I assume, because we'll bring it up. Plenty of stuff, though. So we appreciate y'all for tuning in. Thank you very much for stopping by. Check us both out on Twitter. That's below our faces in tiny little font.
The little one.
You can check us out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at How About Them C's. And yeah, appreciate y'all. We are here 30 minutes before every Celtics game, so we will see you guys Wednesday. New pod drops Wednesday morning, though. Hit the like button like Birkin said.
I will not see you Wednesday. So yes. Sorry. I know
that's all right.
Some people in the chat missed me. I won't be here. I'm going to the game.
Well, there you go. All right. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Peace out. Talk to you later.